What's going on, everybody? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about something that's actually very, very important to the hobby, and that is grading. Grading has become a phenomenon in recent years because of its increased value that it could potentially bring to a trading card, whether it's a sports card, Pokemon card, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever it may be. The potential increase in value is so fascinating and so appealing to collectors, investors, and flippers alike that grading has just absolutely ballooned, especially when thinking about the hobby I guess maybe like 6, 7, 10, 15, 20 years ago. Grading wasn't nearly as popular. So I want to take a look at a chart that I saw on the internet, and it is a grading report for the month of January 2024. And I know we're a week plus into February here, but this is still something to really look at and just really kind of dive and sink our teeth into. And that is looking at PSA, CGC, SGC, and Beckett to take a look at how many cards they graded in the month of January just last month. So this chart that you see on your screen right here showcases PSA, CGC, SGC, and Beckett and the total cards that they graded, total cards that went through their doors and that they graded. Then there's the second column, MOM, that's month over month percentage. So if we were to compare January to December for these companies, what percentage of change has these companies seen in the amount of cards that they've graded? And then YOY, year over year, same thing. We're taking a look at January 2023 in comparison to January 2024 and seeing how many cards come in and out of the door in that time span. So PSA at the top here, 1.22 million cards graded in the month of January alone. That is a minus 1%, so very minuscule percentage change from December, but they're up 22% from January 2023, if all that makes sense. CGC, second place, saw 184,000 cards. That is a plus 53% increase from December of 23 and plus 40% increase from January of 2023. SGC in third with 157,000 cards. That's plus 28% from December and plus 94% from January 2023. And then pulling up the rear, which is a little shocking to me, is Beckett at 58,000. That is plus 11% from December and then only plus 1% from January 2023. So in a vacuum, and I've already made an Instagram post about this, guys. You might have already seen it, but in a vacuum, what does all this information really mean? Well, here's my immediate reactions. And I know you can dive more into it, types of cards and such like that, but I just want to look at it for its face value, its surface value. And to me, key takeaways that I'm seeing here is CGC is in the mix for a top dog. It is. Whether it's with PSA, SGC, or Beckett, those are typically the big three. But here, at least in January 2024, and I'm curious to see what the data looks like going forward. But here in January 2024, CGC is making a stand to be a top dog in this industry as a legitimate grading company, having the second most graded cards in the month of January. It had the highest month over month increase and it had the second highest year over year increase, which that year over year increase is the one that I really want to just really kind of, I don't want to say prioritize, but I really want to value that one strongly because the hobby's in a completely different space than it was January 2023, here in January, I guess now February 2024. And to see a plus 40% increase from last year, that's tremendous. You look at SGC, plus 94, that's insane. That's almost double what you're doing this time this year than you were this time last year. Beckett pulling up the rear at 58,000, coming in fourth place by a landslide, to me is really shocking because typically it's always been PSA Beckett. Well, Beckett's kind of is in fourth place right now. So if anyone's kind of left out of that big three conversation right now, it looks like it's Beckett with a weak month over month change and in tremendously weak year over year change at only plus 1%. That is crazy to me. That really is. Now, I've had some people comment on some of the social media posts that I referred to, saying Beckett actually gives legitimate grades. They actually look at the card's condition and grade it based on that, and that is true. Beckett is by far the most difficult grader in the industry, whether it's with PSA, SGC, CGC, TGA, HGA, whoever you want to, whatever A, whatever G, whatever. They are the toughest by far. In a hobby where getting a 10 when grading a card is so paramount and such a huge fad, who's going to want to submit their cards to a company that's not going to easily give them a 10? Now, me personally, I like to submit my cards because I want them graded for what they are, and then I want to be able to sell them for what they are. That's why I like CGC a lot. People like SGC because they're tough. People like Beckett because they're tough. I'm not the biggest fan of PSA because I don't think they're tough. They don't care about centering. They even came out and said that, if the centering on the back is 70-30, that it's fine. Huh? Like, what are we doing? So this chart is sticking with the PSA theme. I mean, just look how by and far they blew out the entire competition. Over 1 million cards more than CGC, who's in second place. So PSA is clearly still the top dog. I mean, I've made countless videos and I've told people tons of times why I don't like PSA, but I'll save that for another video. Let me know down in the comment section below if you want to hear me rant about why I don't like PSA. Again, seeing CGC kind of in second place here is really nice to see. Again, I know they do a lot with Pokemon and TCG, but again, we're just taking numbers in a vacuum here. And then Beckett down at the bottom. That, I think, is the most confusing part. Why don't people like Beckett? Is it because they're too tough as a grading company and people aren't getting as many 10s with them because people would just rather go to PSA and just get their 10s and try to flip 9s like they're in 2020 still? So there's a lot to really dive into here with this data, and I'm excited to see what February's looks like, what March's look like, and further we go into the year. So guys, let me know what you think about this data down below in the comment section. I'd love to read and reply to any and all comments. Please smash the thumbs up and of course subscribe to the channel if you're new or haven't considered subscribing. I would greatly appreciate the love and support. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. I've queued up an excellent video right here for you that I do believe is going to be excellent for your hobby endeavor. So hopefully I'll see you in that one.